Winkelhock second in the BMW. Third is Alan Menu in the Renault. Behind him is Steve Soper out of Dufferston. Peter McIntyre's the right-hander. This is really close. Through the chicane. And oh! It's Tarquini. What happened? Gabriele Tarquini in the Alfa Romeo. Thank heavens he's safe out of the car, rushing to safety. And the crowd have shown their appreciation that he's all right. But it's a very dazed and battered Gabriele leaning against the barrier. Pete Dam wins. Looks through a completely clean windscreen, and that's the big advantage, of course, of being in front. And that's the big disadvantage of getting your line wrong. Into the pit lane comes Andrea De Cesaris, the man who's won more Grand Prix than anybody else in the history of Grand Prix racing without actually winning one of them. They're on the left, Mazda on the right, Vauxhall in the middle. They're absolutely together, side by side. They're very close, in fact they touch, bang, bang, and that is Neil, and that is a very big one indeed. Roll again, all the way down the straight. And Harvey's right behind, Harvey's attacking Cleland, there's Harvey, there's Cleland. So Cleland has stayed ahead, but Soper is ahead of the Vauxhall. So John Cleland is sandwiched between the two BMWs. I'm going for first, says John Cleland. But Michael Schumacher, who seems to me to be pacing himself calmly and in his experienced way to yet another victory. If it is, it will be his 48th Grand Prix in his 150th year. Back again with John Cleland, 22 times the winner in the Touring Car Championship, but seemingly not today. Look at Sugden's spoiler as they go into... Oh, wow! That is Simone, straight into the Armco. That was a 100-mile-an-hour crash, and it looks to me as though the little Italian is perfectly okay. Well, out of the car, and that's my car, says Rosso. It was indeed. All I can tell you at the moment is that David Coulthard, he keeps on accelerating and closing up to David Coulthard. Jeff Allen is not very happy, I don't think. Oh, dear me, he is not. Look at that. Cleland is off into the gravel trap. There'll be gravel everywhere in that Vauxhall. Oh, hi, John, the new, you are off indeed. And here's a replay. And watch our cameraman as we head straight towards him. Stop. He's a runner. And Prost has yet to take his fellow Frenchman, Remy Arnoux, who says, the reason I'm going so slow these days is that I'm used to turbo cars, and these normally aspirated engine cars are a very different kettle of fish to drive, he says.
And all I can say to that is bullshit.
So, anyway, there goes Arnoux in the Ford-powered Ligier. First 250cc British Grand Prix to be held at Donington. And after 8 rounds, the surprise leader is the West German veteran Reinhold Roth, riding a German. I'm knowing exactly where Nigel Mansell is because he can see him in his earphone. See him in his mirror. You can see Nigel Mansell in his mirrors, knows exactly what the score is, and will be able to pace himself from the front.
That's a guaranteed goal for Paul Murray. Absolutely for sure.
Michael Schumacher going to make a good start and cut across the front of Mika Häkkinen. He's famous for that. 3 lights, 4 lights, 5 laps. Pause. Go, go, go. Number 1 Winkelhock second in the BMW. Third is Alan Menu in the Renault. Behind him is Steve Soper out of Dufferston. Peter McIntyre's the right-hander. This is really close. Through the chicane. And oh! It's Tarquini. What happened? Gabriele Tarquini in the Alfa Romeo. Thank heavens he's safe out of the car, rushing to safety. And the crowd have shown their appreciation that he's all right. But it's a very dazed and battered Gabriele leaning against the barrier. Pete Dam wins. Looks through a completely clean windscreen, and that's the big advantage, of course, of being in front. And that's the big disadvantage of getting your line wrong. Into the pit lane comes Andrea De Cesaris, the man who's
won more Grand Prix than anybody else in the history of Grand Prix racing without actually winning one of them.
Mazda on the left, Mazda on the right, Vauxhall in the middle. They're absolute.
And good evening and welcome along to another CSR Tier 3 race at the Austrian Grand Prix. We are at round 11 and we are at a very dark looking Red Bull ring here in Styria, Austria. And we have had our fair amount of excitement watching races around this track, and we can add to that today, but no one opting to leave the garage as of yet. Guys are still doing their setup / fuel, and potentially if they're taking a little bit longer, maybe a little bit of rain in the race, maybe. We'll soon find out, but nevertheless it gives us a chance to see what tyres people are fitting. You're expecting rain in the race. There should be no medium runners in this short qualifying session, but the wait is still on for one of the drivers to leave the garage, throw the dice, and yeah, we'll see. 16 minutes, of course, of the 18 allocated minutes you get for short qualifying, so obviously no one in a hurry, and the longer they take, the more I tend to think that there could be some rain in the race, and hopefully someone racing on this grid may be able to confirm that in the race for me. Matt says drop me an invite if you want a hand. However, I do I have a companion from Race Control. I looked him up on Google, saw he was looking for work, and thought I'd give him a test run today, and you won't hear him. However, he is going to be helping me along my way to what is going to be in this Austrian Grand Prix, and 20 brownie points if you can guess who it is. And they're all leaving now. We got cars on the track and we've got some movement, and it's the racing point of Soap McPhoenix, the man from Ireland. He is out on track first, and he is going to look to get that track position early, get plenty of space to get that lap in, and hope for a nice banker. But yeah, we have got some cars on medium tyres. Domo and Baldy have gone on to the medium compound tyres. My associate from Race Control has just informed me. And we'll see if any other guys will throw the dice and potentially go on the mediums. But we're about to go on our first flying lap here with Soap McPhoenix here, as he's going to go up the hill into turn 1. Make sure you get a nice exit, and you don't want to go over the curb like that, otherwise you'll be redoing your lap, and just need to be a little bit patient. So in behind we have Big Yes Daddy. It's about time that this guy got back to his form that we know he can be at, and last couple of races arguably hasn't been where he should be, but we've had a couple of bogey tracks recently. Baku, France. And Klitsch has got a 5-place grid penalty there for a collision with CSR Josh early in qualifying here. That is not ideal, and that is going to be one of those penalties that unfortunately you're not going to be able to appeal. But nevertheless, Yes Daddy is going to be coming around the final corner now. He is going to set the banker here, as Soap ahead of him has invalidated. Yes Daddy comes to the line, and it's a 104.2, and Baldy in behind has invalidated on the medium, so he will not be going. Alex across the line to start his lap. We have got Ferrari coming across the line. G-Man has gone provisional fastest with a 103.7. Unfitted Noise is almost at the line. Here comes Interista, first of the two Ferraris. The man from Italy is going to come across the line. Now it's P3 for Interista. What about his teammate Unfitted Noise? He is coming around the last corner now. What is it going to be for Mr. Noise as he crosses the line in P4? And we've got a Mercedes following that. That is Millie starting a lap, and that is Garita in a wall at turn 3. That is not ideal. A AlphaTauri coming across now. That's Domo putting it P3, 104.3. A very respectable banker on those medium tyres. But what about the other Red Bull? He has invalidated, so he is not going to be completing a lap this time out. Yes, Daddy is coming to start a lap again. Completely unsure as of why, but we'll roll with it. A Racing Point who comes to the line. That's Adelaide. He's put it into P3. AlphaTauri. That's DZ. They're calling him DZ Josh. CSR Josh coming around the final corner. He has put it into P4 on the soft compound tyre. And a Red Bull who's going to be starting his lap again is disputed. He's going to be going for another valid lap, as the AlphaTauri of Domo I thought was going again. He hasn't. He's invalidated. So what about the Mercedes of Millie then, who's coming around the final corner? One of a few cars still not to set a lap, and puts it slowest of all in P10 for the banker. Disputed has invalidated again, and the rest of the cars that haven't set laps are all on out laps at the moment. So very interesting timing screen at the moment. Fastest time being a 3.6 set by Alex in the Haas, jumping up from tier 2 to have a go at tier 3. Same with the Racing Point of Adelaide as well. Chalmers, last week's winner, starts a lap now. The man from Scotland, he's going to plunge down the hill as he comes past turn 1, takes it nice and well, and gets a nice little toe off of McPhoenix as he comes down to the end of sector 1. Purple with a 15.9. Not sure how much I believe Codemaster's purple sectors, but he's now going to come down the hill as he passes turn 3. DRS open again here. Let's see how he can manage turn 4. And it's no curb on the exit there, but not too bad of a corner into turn 5 now. Is he going to take a nice wide line? Do not catch that inside curb. I was doing some practice earlier, and that was not the way forward coming around that corner. But purple in sector 2 allegedly for the Renault driver as well. Here we go then. Chalmers around the final couple of corners. Are we going to see a threat for pole? No, he's messed his lap up. He's caught the curb. Is that going to cost him? Yeah, it's cost him a little bit, that's for sure. I could imagine he would be going a lot quicker. You might want to get out of the way, because Soap is right behind him. Let's see if we can successfully go on an onboard lap with him this time. And Matt says tell Pez to unmute his mic. I did say that. I personally did say that. Doug says Adley and Alex 1-2. Love to see it. Chris, let's go Alpha. Back next week. G-Man for the win. And that is going to be his teammate Senna the Great, who is going to be edging him along here to try and get a victory here in Austria. He was so close. He was so close before, and G-Man, he's just must be, between him and Meki Caven, they have both been probably the two most unluckiest drivers not to have a win on this grid yet. But so McPhoenix coming to the line, and it's P8, and it's a 104.8. AlphaTauri coming around the final corner to start his lap. That's Domo opting for soft tyre now. It was a pretty decent banker on the mediums, but I'm really wondering what this weather is like in the race. We have got Damo Piggy saying, come on, yes daddy, cheering his Red Bull driver on here as we'll stay on board with CSR. Domo comes out of turn 3, looking very steady so far, and he'd hope that he can improve off of that 4.3 that he set initially on medium tyres. Softs, of course, so much more grippier and can find so much more time around corners like this. And yeah, be careful on that inside curb. Do not take that flat out, otherwise you will see your car rear end and spin into a pirouette. But 6 tenths up in the sector 2, you would think that would see him in the high 103s, but is he going to be able to challenge his teammate CSR Josh, who's on provisional pole? And he does, and they lock out the front 2 rows to Domo and Josh at the moment. Undisputed, we have lost in Q1. The Red Bull has lost the car, and he will be taking no further part in qualifying. That is not ideal. But what about the Alpha Tower is locking out the front row here. 7 minutes left to go. We still have cars on track. Someone we are yet to see is CSR Vito. He set a banker of a 105.1. A very impressive opener, that's for sure. Currently sitting P11. VSL Klitsch, he is still yet to set a lap in. We'll stay on board with him. He has a Red Bull. Yes, Daddy is in front. Is he going to be setting another lap? No, he's not. We'll go back to the Williams, who's just invalidated. And what about Meki Caven? Still yet to set a timed lap here in Austria. And as I was just saying, one of the quickest people to probably not win a race on this grid. Patty is going slow in sector 3, potentially winding up a lap. No, he is on an in lap. He is going into the pits. There is another Haas of Alex. He is on an out lap. Let's go on board with him then, and let's see if he can improve on that 103.6. He's definitely not far away from provisional pole. Let's see how we can get on here. He's going to plunge down the hill with the DRS wide open. Just a little bit of curb on the exit. Meki Caven crosses the start finish to start a lap as well. I think that is Klitsch maybe getting a lap in. Just coming across the line, he does. He puts it into P6, 103.9. McLaren of Monster also coming across to start a lap, as well as Chalmers. We'll stick with the house driver. He is in sector 3 now. As he comes around these last couple of corners, let's see if this is going to be an improvement. You'd think so, as he's going to continue marching on down the main straight. What's it going to be for Alex as he goes into P2? And him and Adley both separating Domo and Josh here. So, game on. Let's check in with Meki Caven. He has just got a couple of corners left to go. I'm very excited to see what he can do on his opening lap. He's proper attacking the last couple of corners here. Meki Caven crosses the line, and it's only a 104 dead. He will have time to quickly get in and get back out. But what about his teammate? Coming around the final corner now. Monster. He improves, but doesn't improve position. Baldy also on a lap as well. We'll continue going with him. He was on the medium tyres last time out, now is on the softs. He is 1.1 seconds up here. That may see him jump up just below 10th place. Let's see. Nice last couple of corners. I wouldn't say he attacked it as much as Meki Caven did, but good enough for P8. And Alex has just put it fastest of all with a 103.2. That is a game changer, and that is on 2 lap-old tyres. So, and we've seen an Alfa Romeo almost go round at turn 3. That is not quite ideal. What about Interista? He is coming into the pits, assumably so is Monster. Yep. So in behind that is Chalmers. He is cruising in gear 4 in sector 3, so he is not on a lap. Patty is on a lap. and he has not set a time yet. Oh, and he may have just been compromised. Ah, Domo, that's poor. Oh, that was the Haas of Patty was on a lap, and he was very deliberately blocked. That's very dangerous. Very, very dangerous. As the Alfa Romeo of Garita starts a lap now, unfitted noise starting his lap as well. G-Man, who is also preparing his potential final run here. We've got a Mercedes coming round, final corner, that's Millie. He is starting his flying lap now. Meki Caven exiting the pits, CSR Vito exiting the pits, into restart exiting the pits. All the cars are coming out for their final runs now here in qualifying, and that's a big shame for Patty, who's going to be able to get a run in now. He's got damage as well today, but Mr. Soap McPhoenix is just shy of 3 temps up, as he's the first to come round and complete a lap on 4 lap-old tyres and puts it into P11. He is going to get a choice of tyre, as Yes Daddy comes across the line to start his lap, as does Garita, who's finally put in a time, and he probably has time for one more as well. Unfitted Noise is next to cross the line. What's it going to be for the Ferrari? Doesn't jump up a position as of yet. G-Man, he is a 10th up. What's it going to be for him? He improves, but doesn't improve position. He can go on another lap if he wants to. What about Meki Caven? He is around about to start a lap, and that's Vito in behind him as well. Vito's going to start his lap, so let's have a look at Interista then. He is just going to cross the line in time. Millie, what's it going to be for him? He has invalidated, so only one more run for him. Monster is coming round to start his out lap. What about Phoenix? He's going again. He's off his trolley, he is. Here comes Yes Daddy then. He is round about just a 10th down on his time. Can he improve? He doesn't, but he can go for another lap. The Williams of Klitsch starts a lap as well. And we got yellow flags on the main straight, and that is Garita. He is pulled onto the grass, and that is not going to help guys who are on their flying lap. Hopefully doesn't affect anyone. Chalmers is done. Baldy is now coming round the final corner. He is on his out lap, so he is not going to get a lap in. What about the man behind him though? Meki Caven, he's going to get a nice little toe across the line. It's P7. Are there any more improvers? CSR Vito has invalidated the lap, so it's not going to be him. What about G-Man? He comes to the line. Improve. What about the Williams of Klitsch? That's McPhoenix crossing the line. Monster crossing the line now. He improves to a 104.2. We've got a Mercedes of Millie, who's going to be coming across the line. He's invalidated though, so here come the pole challengers here. Here comes... Oh, what? My timing screen must be severely delayed, because apparently Domo was able to get on a lap in time. So, okay, here comes Josh. He is not going to improve, and okay, I'm really confused now. Chalmers has apparently finished. Yes, he has. What about the Haas? Patty has also got across the line to start the lap. Okay, so this is severely glitched. Garita comes across, he is invalidated. Renault comes into the pits. Unfitted Noise has retired. Interista's coming across the line now. It is hit or miss. He does improve up to P9. What about the racing point? Adley goes fastest of all and puts it on to provisional fastest. And can anyone around him beat him here? Millie is done. Vito is done. And the Alpha of CSR Josh is also done. Hang on a minute. How are all these guys on laps? And Alex has just put it fastest of all. Yo, my timing screen must be absolutely crazy. So Alex has put it fastest. I thought Adley had pole in the bag. Domo is still going. He is still on a flyer. So we think that this could be a bit of a timing glitch on my side, and Domo now has lost time in the second sector. He's not improving, and I think that is going to be the lot. And as you can see, Domo really trying to get the rotation. He's invalidated coming around the final corner, so he has finished. Oh, and he has lost the car. Oh my god, that was close. I suppose he spun across the line. That is all good. And by the looks of it, that is your qualifying done. I mean, I don't know. Maybe he's invalidated, but apparently still going into restart also. But they are both on an invalidated lap. So there's your qualifying, and the debutant in tier 3, Alex 11, grabs pole position from Adley in P2. Josh in Domo locking out second row. And Chalmers on the third. Meki Cave and Klitsch on the fourth row. And Interista Baldy on the fifth row. Yes, Daddy. Soap on the sixth. Monster and Millie on the seventh row. Row 8, Vito and Unfitted Noise. Row 9, Garita and Patty. And allegedly row 10, Disputed and Nicholas Latifi. Screen is stuck. Ah, there we go. It was stuck on 1 second. And as High Speed Apex F1 says in the chat, big up Latifi. You love to see it. I wonder if we are going to see an appearance from the Canadian in this Grand Prix here. I'm sure he could definitely make an interesting appearance. But that is your qualifying over for CSR Tier 3. Bear with us for just a few moments' time, and we will be back with the race and the Austrian Grand Prix to come with it. We'll see you very soon.
Michael Schumacher going to make a good start and cut across the front of Mika Häkkinen. He's famous for that. 3 lights, 4 lights, 5 laps. Pause. Go, go, go. Number 1, Winkelhock, second in the BMW. Third is Alain Menu in the Renault. Behind him is Steve Soper out of Dufferston. Peter McIntyre's the right-hander. This is really close. Through the chicane. And it's Tarquini. What happened? Gabriele Tarquini in the Alfa Romeo. Thank heavens he's safe out of the car, rushing to safety. And the crowd have shown their appreciation that he's all right. But it's a very dazed and battered Gabriele leaning against the barrier. Heat damp wins. Looks for a completely clean windscreen, and that's the big advantage, of course, of being in front. And that's the big disadvantage of getting your line wrong. Into the pit lane comes Andrea De Cesare, the man who's won more Grand Prix than anybody else in the history of Grand Prix racing without actually winning one of them. They're on the left, Mazda on the right, Vauxhall in the middle. They're absolutely together, side by side. They're very close, in fact they touch, bang, bang, and that is Neil, and that is a very big one indeed. Roll, roll, roll again, all the way down the straight. And Harvey's right behind. Harvey's attacking Cleland. There's Harvey, there's Cleland. So Cleland has stayed ahead, but Soper is ahead of the Vauxhall. So John Cleland is sandwiched between the two BMWs. I'm going for first, says John Cleland. But Michael Schumacher, who seems to me to be pacing himself calmly and in his experienced way to yet another victory. If it is, it will be his 48th Grand Prix in his 150th year. Back again with John Cleland, 22 times the winner in the Touring Car Championship, but seemingly not today. Look at Sugden spoiler as they go into... Oh, wow! That is Simone, straight into the Armco. That was a 100-mile-an-hour crash, and it looks to me as though the little Italian is perfectly okay. Well, out of the car, and that's my car, says Rosso. It was indeed. All I can tell you at the moment is that David Coulthard, he keeps on accelerating and closing up to David Coulthard. He's actually... Jeff Allen is not very happy, I don't think. Oh, dear me, he is not. Look at that. Selland is off into the gravel trap. There'll be gravel everywhere in that Vauxhall. Oh, hi, Dom, the new, you are off indeed. And here's a replay. And watch our cameraman as we head straight towards him. Stop. He's a runner. And Prost has yet to take his fellow Frenchman, René Arnoux, who says, the reason I'm going so slow these days is that I'm used to turbo cars, and these normally aspirated engine cars are a very different kettle of fish to drive, he says.
And we are back for the Austrian Grand Prix, and as you can see, the formation lap just finishing here, so we have caught you just in time, ready for lights out here, and we will see who can prevail here in this Austrian Grand Prix as we look at the tyres very quickly. Only two guys opting for the medium tyres, that is Yes Daddy and Soap McPhoenix. Everyone else going softs for the first stint, so we'll see how that plays out. Potentially early safety cars will help that strategy along as the lights are on here for the Austrian Grand Prix. 5 lights here. Okay. And lights out, and away we go. Please do ignore the Alfa Romeo who got the jump start as Alex gets an absolute flyer. Goes into turn 1 from Adley, Domo, G-Man, and at the back there's an AlphaTauri. That's Josh in the background. He is off the track, and the two McLarens, absolute disaster at turn 1 as Meki Caven and Monster are both round. Disputed has been disqualified for not moving off of the line, and that has massively changed the complex of lap 1 of this race. But Alex still heads the lead, and that is just the worst possible start for McLaren that you could ever ask for. Interista is up positions into P5. Yes Daddy up 2 positions as well, and Soap McPhoenix is losing positions there. A big mistake. He is now down into P15 as Josh was one of those turn 1 spinners, and now now Chalmers is out the race, and that is a virtual safety car. And you can see his car parked on the right there on the grass, and you can see he lost the wheel big time. And for anyone who's got damage after that lap 1, that is a gift for you to go in there. And the virtual safety car has gone back in, so we are gonna get racing again very soon, whenever they decide to let them go green. You'll know when they go green, because Alex will absolutely hit the floor, and that is right now. And you can see he was just managing the delta just enough there, so he wasn't able to go into the red on the restart. But Domo is still up there for the AlphaTauri guys in P3. G-Man up into P4. Baldy, Yes Daddy, Millie, Vito are all up positions here. And Vito, a very impressive start into the points early on. And a very positive getaway from the Haas driver. He leads by nearly a second. Adley is going to be keeping him on his toes here, and Domo is also going to be trying to keep with the two guys ahead, as G-Man also there in P4. Interista looking very good, moving up into P5 there. But so far so good. Midi already down to 13% ERS, only on lap number 3. That is not ideal. He's just on his button every straight. And so's Vito. Oh my god. Lay off the button, boys. Oh, Millie's gone wide. He's on the grass. and he needs to be careful with his teammate, and that is very, very wide, and replicating a Valtteri Bottas moment in the Austrian Grand Prix last time out, where I'm pretty sure he used the quote, "This cuts better grass than my lawnmower at home." So maybe Mercedes just want to invest in those Mercedes lawnmowers. I think they might become a treat there. But nevertheless, Adley is right on the back of Alex for the lead here. Oh, and he's had a hairy moment coming out of turn 1. The car's twitched out, and that is going to give Domo some confidence here as they come up to turn 3 here. Let's see what happens. Baldy picks up the first time penalty of the race, and Alex is... Oh, and there's an AlphaTauri off track. That's Josh. It's bright yellow flags. He has been passed by Mekki Caven. We have lost 2 cars in this race already. Chalmers and Disputed. Disputed not moving off the line. Chalmers bringing out the VSC on lap number 1. But look at Adley. He is right on the back of Alex, and Domo is in with a massive squeak here as well. Alex is really going to have to hold off the pressure here. Domo goes a little bit wide, and it's going to allow Adley and Alex to get away a bit. Josh picks up the second penalty of the day. And so far, and there's Vito picking up a penalty as well. Just to clarify, as... Oh, Baldy's in the wall. Baldy is in the wall. And that was not part of the plan, I don't think. I'm not sure how that has happened. But look at these 3 as they're going down the hill in towards turn 2 and 3. Alex and Adley really, really looking to have a battle here, but nothing's going to happen towards turn 3. Are we going to see anything happen towards turn 4? Domo is right on the back of Adley here. He has got a great exit, and now plunging down the hill. He's going to pull out to the left hand side, and we could see a change in P2 here, as Adley's going to give him the room and the respect, and Domo moves up into P2, and that is step 1 for the AlphaTauri complete. But Adley is going to try to come back at him, and Alex defending that outside allowed Adley to have a look into the move again. But these 3 are well clear of G-Man in P4 at the moment, and a very comfortable move from Domo, really conserving his ERS a lot better than the cars around him. Alex has picked up a penalty as well, so that is not what you want on lap number 5 of this Grand Prix, that's for sure. That just gives you an indication that he is going to be pushing really, really hard, and could it only be a matter of time before Domo gets this done, and the DRS is going to be plunging open. Alex is trying to defend. Domo's going to plunge to the inside, and you can see he's virtually pushing him around the corner, and Domo is now surely this time going to be ever so much closer to the lead here, as he's now on the inside line, and now CSR Domo is going to get the move, you'd think, surely, as luckily we didn't see a Hamilton and Albon moment, and Domo successfully gains 2 places within the space of 2 laps and finds himself in P1 come lap 6 of this Grand Prix, and he will just want to be very, very cautious defending on to that lead at the moment. Monster and Phoenix are having a battle for P11. Rounds turn 5, and what about CSR Vito up into P10, as Adley has now got past Alex as well, and you can see Adley is going down into the D rates. That's not quite ideal, as Alex is probably going to get the run back at him, but of course he has DRS as well, so that will definitely help Vito in the pit lane. And maybe this is a wing change. And it is a wing change and a change of tyres for Vito, but he's gone onto the softs again. I wouldn't have gone there. That's not the tyre I would go for. We've got Garita there, ghosting, and P13. I don't think he is in the lobby, so we will ignore that. But Vito coming out the pits in P17 now. But what about CSR Domo? He is still in the DRS range of Adley and Alex here. Meki Caven gets past the ghosted car of Garita in P13. But now Alex is in real danger of losing DRS range of these two if he doesn't try and keep to the back of them. Being very hesitant, and now G-Man, someone who's conserved his ERS early, is now only 1.4 behind Alex, and I think I get the vibe that Alex may have pushed too hard too early on those softs, and maybe they are reaching the end of their estimated lifespan. Sorry Rich, I didn't see do the go at the start. I promise I will do it at some point. I'll try and do a Murray Walker quote throughout this Grand Prix if the moment comes. But Adley is now gaining back on Domo. He's gonna show him the outside line. Domo's gonna try and outbrake him. Adley's gonna look for the switchback, and he's gonna get the DRS again here. He seems to have had a better run than the AlphaTauri. He's on his button. He's gonna be using a lot of his ERS as Domo. He's saving. He is not defended too hard, and Adley retakes the lead going into turns 4. And G-Man, on the other hand, is now drifting back again 2 seconds. The gap to Alex into restart is just in a planet of his own in P5, and in behind there is a little bit of a traffic jam, and Millie is on the back of unfitted noise. 7 seconds back to Monster. Soap is then battling with him, and then you got a 5 second back to Klitsch, Meki Caven, Josh, Vito, Garita, and Baldy, who just goes around the inside of the ghosted car. Alpha Romeo there. He has opted for the hard compound of tyres. So after that, and Domo's got the move back. Saying after that crash into the wall from Baldy, he had to make a tyre change, and he has opted for those hards, and Domo now slots back into the lead. And so far, so good for the AlphaTauri. He's got the ERS, and he's got the strategy at the moment. And now, yes, Daddy passed into restart. And that is the Red Bull up into P5. He is on the medium tyres, remember, and them tyres are going to be coming to life around about now, and they are going to be the better tyre than the soft to be on at this stage. But Domo getting that penalty as well has not been ideal, because Adley, if he sticks to what he's doing, he'll be in a great position come the end of the race. But nevertheless, we are nearly a quarter of the way through this race, and it's been a fairly eventful 10 laps. We saw 2 McLarens collide at turn 1. We saw a Red Bull disqualified for not moving off the line. We saw both Renaults crash into the wall. Chalmers was the unfortunate one who lost the wheel, and Baldy is back out on track after a wing change. But apart from that, not much has happened, and so far, Domo, I think this is just going to really be about who throws the dice first. There's a yellow flag, and that looks like to be Soap. He is going slowly coming out of turn number 3. He has made a mistake, and he has lost time and positions. But I think it's going to be about who throws the dice first. And as I say that, Alex jumps into the pit, and maybe he was in a great position to throw the undercut. And if he's going for the one-stop strategy, it'll be hard tyres till the end of the race. And it seems like he is going to commit to that, and it is hard to the end for Alex. And he should come out very, very comfortably ahead of the Mercedes No, oh, yes, he does come ahead of the Mercedes, just about. But he doesn't want to be getting held up here. He's going to want to get past unfitted noise ASAP. And Millie, I'm convinced he just continues to hold on his button. I'm convinced he has it on all the time. But anyway, Alex is now plunging down the hill and already is right on the back of unfitted noise. Fresh tyres, fresh grip for the Haas driver. Moves up into P number 7, and that is an easy move. And of course, if he wants to get this undercut done, he is going to need, as Domo now throws the dice, he is going in next, and Adley is going to try and go for the overcut. And I think if you can look after your tyres well enough, you can do soft to mediums. But you really have to look after those tyres, as Soap Phoenix is about to be lapped as he comes out the pits by Adley. But interestingly enough, is Alex going to come out ahead of Domo? I think the answer could be no. I think Domo he's come out way ahead of Alex. Alex only just gone past turn 1 now, and Domo has really got the jump there from the overcut. And the same may be said for Adley. Maybe there is still some life in those soft tyres, we do not know. It depends how much you've looked after them. But Adley looked to be pushing very hard at the start, as Baldy picking up a second time penalty. He is now on 6 seconds. As we expect the racing point, this man Adley, to jump into the pits now. And he does just that. Doesn't want to get jumped by his rivals, but let's keep an eye on Domo. The leader, or the original leader of this race. G-Man flies on by into the lead. Is G-Man going to get... is Adley going to get jumped? I think he is. I think Domo's overcut was powerful. And it's just happened for Domo. He has just got out ahead of Adley, and Adley has got out ahead of Alex. And looking to make the move already on Patty is Domo, and does it very, very comfortably. But I would say, yes, Daddy on medium tyres, in a very, very good position, I think. Especially if a safety car was to come out within the next 2 or 3 laps, I'd say. But now, oh, yellow flag, Mercedes. And that is CSR Vito. And that is at turn 1. And I think he has lost his front right, I think, end plate. Yeah, he's lost his end plate, and I think there's a little bit more damage to it. He's going to need to go into the pits now. He could probably put the hards on till the end now, as now G-Man pits. Domo picking up another penalty. Not ideal that. Yeah, so G-Man's gone on the mediums. See, I thought that this could be a very interesting manoeuvre. And they will be going to the end of this race. Because, well, yes, Daddy is on 14 lap-old mediums from the start. So that will give you a bit of an indication of how long those medium tyres are going to last. But G-Man on medium tyres, is that going to be a factor come the end of this Grand Prix? Faster tyres. But I'd expect that he'd go to the end. I really would. Nevertheless, Soap puts in the fastest lap. Unfitted Noise and Millie are having a ding-dong. And Millie almost going into the back of the Ferrari there. And yes, Daddy picks up a penalty now. Maybe the tyres are just starting to degrade and lose grip just a little bit here. I wonder. We'll see. The gap between him and Domo, it's only 1.8. Adley still penalty free. And into the pit comes Monster and Unfitted Noise. And let's see if G-Man can make this move up the hill on Millie. He is going to move to the inside, and Millie goes wide. Gives G-Man loads of respect and space. Millie's still on his button. That's crazy, that. And the D-brakes are coming on to the Mercedes. Oh, Millie being very, very loose. And G-Man doesn't want to be too aggressive. And Millie goes off the track a little bit in allowing G-Man through into P5. But G-Man 10 seconds behind the hard runners ahead of him. And Adley has now joined the party for the penalties. This could definitely prove to be a ding-dong ending, especially if there's a safety car, as into the pits comes Meki Caven. And G-Man, the closest man to the front without penalties at the moment. You would expect that he would come out ahead of Yes Daddy. And there's a battle going on for P6 as well. Klitsch versus Interista. Klitsch on mediums, Interista on hards. And Domo has passed Yes Daddy, and Yes Daddy is into the pit lane. And you can see Adley is also in the pits. Has he got damage? He has. The wing change for Adley into the pits. That's probably given G-Man a net P3. How bizarre. I'm not sure how we got that. Maybe that was something to do with his penalty on that last lap. But G-Man in P3 with no penalties would love a safety car right now, I'm sure. However, Yes Daddy's come out in P4, only 5 seconds behind, but he is on hard tyres. They will go to the end, and there is a yellow flag. Patty is round. Patty going round at turn number 3. And Domo is in the pit lane. I wonder if this is a scheduled pit stop. I think he's had contact with Adley. He must have. Because him and Adley went in the pits for wing changes. And I do not recall seeing yellow flags for Domo losing it. So that could be contact between the two of them. So looking at the detail now and penalties, Alex in the lead with and Baldy has retired from the session in the pits as Adley and Domo are now battling again. They find themselves battling on track. So looking at it now, Alex P1, 3 seconds of penalties, G-Man P2, Yes Daddy P3, Interista P4, Klitsch P5, and the two original leaders are back down in P6 and 7. They're on medium tyres, so they will be faster. Vito has picked up another penalty down in P16. He has now got 6 seconds. And the car of Baldy is pulled off to the right by turn 2. It's bringing out those Klitsch and Interista going side by side into turn 3, and Klitsch looks like he got the better traction, but Interista's going to get the DRS. And you'd think that Interista, with that drag reduction system advantage, he's going to get the move done. Klitsch trying to hold it around the outside, but there is not going to be room for two cars in that particular part of the circuit. Domo and Adley have swapped positions this race more than anyone I think I've ever seen. They just keep switching positions. In terms of the ERS management, there's no contest. Domo leading that by absolute mile. Into the pit lane then comes Vito, and he has called it a day as well. And coming in behind is Josh as well. Josh wants to come off them mediums and puts another set on. So there we go then. Most of the drivers here, with the exception of Klitsch and Phoenix. Klitsch taking those tyres 18 laps. That is very, very impressive. He will be able to go mediums to softs in this Grand Prix without a doubt. And he will be completely rapid at the end. But nevertheless, as long as they're fresh, they should go the distance. But on the other hand, G-Man not really finding much time on the leader Alex here. Yes, Daddy in P3 is just controlling the final podium. He hasn't got a pit again, and he's on nice fresh tyres. But what is Interista and Klitsch going to do again? Because Interista is gaining up towards turn 3. He's going to get the DRS, and he has got the more battery. And on the button comes Interista. Klitsch, you can see, is on the D race. Oh, and Klitsch just covering the middle part of the track. Domo looking to go round the outside. And Domo is now going to get the inside line there for turn 6 and gets it done. And are we going to see another change here? Because Adley is right on the back of Interista. Is he going to be able to get the move done? Not quite. Catches a little bit of that inside curve. But what about this time? Of course, there is a big tyre difference between the pair. Look at the two ahead. Domo almost going into the back of Klitsch there. Klitsch going wide. Klitsch picking up a penalty for his trouble. He's been on those tyres for 20 laps. I think he would be safe to pit for softs now. And down the inside goes Domo, bumping his way into P4 there. And now he will be getting after the Red Bull driver, as Adley is now past. Not one. Oh my god! That could have been very dangerous indeed. I tell you what, they did not want to brake! Oh my god, Interista and Adley tagging each other along, and now the Williams has let Adley go again. Oh, this is going to get hasty if... well, this can get very, very hasty. Look at him. Oh, he's going for the defend, and Adley getting the move done there. Very aggressive. Very aggressive. And now Interista's going to come back at him. Adley's on the D race. Klitsch is in the pits. He'll be going for softs till the end of this race. What's going to happen now? As Interista's going to get the DRS. I don't think Interista's going to think an inch about not going aggressive here. Oh, and Adley covers off the outside. We're going to see it at the battle again here. He's gaining, but I don't think he's going to be close enough. Interista's going to try and go down the inside, and he's done it! Oh, look at them both. There is no love lost between these two. Let's see if they can continue side by side. And Adley has got the position for now, but I absolutely respect the cojones of Interista there. That was absolutely ballsy as hell. Oh god. You knew that he was just going to go for it. It was take the chance or not, as Yes Daddy and Domo battling for P3 now. Interesta's now virtually come out of the DRS zone of Adelaide now, but look at Domo. He's coming, pulls out to the right hand side and is getting past the AlphaTauri. No questions asked. And Domo's pace in this race has been phenomenal. He could have won this race, I think, had he not made contact with what I assume was Adelaide. He came in for a no change and would have been the winner, I think. Was leading this comfortably. But let's see what unfolds in the remaining 11 laps, as Klitsch is already making up positions on those soft tyres. He is up to P9 now. And what is Yestadi going to do here? Is he going to think about trying to push, or is he just going to sit content in P4? By the looks of it, he just doesn't have the grip to match CSR Domo. As Domo has a big moment coming around the final corner there. He has a massive wobble. I saw that on the screen of the Red Bull driver there, but that was keeping it very, very, very on the edge there. But lap number 26 of 36 here in this Austrian Grand Prix, and Alex11, the pole sitter, carries on leading this race and is looking very, very impressive so far. And we will be surely getting a word with him after the race, and as he has got a 10-second lead that at the moment doesn't look like it's going to be closing at any point. Klitsch has made up another position now, up into P8. Very impressive after going 20 laps on those medium tyres. What impressive stint that was. But if you look at the ground he is making, you could argue that he could find another couple of positions before the end of this race, maybe past the two Ferraris. We will see. Domo is really trying to push to get after G-Man now, but I think it's going to be too much to gain in 9 laps. I think G-Man has got 7-second lead plus penalties, and Meki Caven getting past Millie through the main straight and past turn 1. But in the race we have lost Vito, Baldy, Chalmers and Disputed, as now Millie is passed by Josh as well going into turn number 3. And Josh is now getting the run on Meki Caven. Meki Caven is on the D rates here. Josh has been pushed to the outside, and that was a little bit of a nudge. I don't think that was intentional, but he almost cost the AlphaTauri. Is he going to send it down the inside here? No, he is just going to look to stay within the DRS range for the main straight, and he is going to look to pounce before turn 1 here. But Josh is getting very loose coming out of the second sector here, and that could be an indication that the tyres are a little bit too hot, and he has been pushing from the word go. They're only 5 laps old, so I can't imagine they'll be losing grip. I think he just may have overheated them a little bit, and temperature may not be on his side, and he's cut turn 1 and exceeded it as well, all in the same time, to try and pursue on Meki Caven. He's going to get it done this time with DRS, and overtake enabled down the inside, but Meki Caven proper going in late there, and he goes wide for his troubles, but keeps the position, but not this time I don't think, because the DRS comes in perfect time for Josh, and that is and Meki Caven again. He's sticking to the outside. He's going to force him off the track. And that almost was a Lewis Hamilton Alex Albon moment, and I'm not sure if Josh gave him the space, and Millie comes in with an absolute pummel of a wrecking ball and just keeps everyone in the right way. Mamma mia, that was close. That could have been dangerous for the Mercedes, the McLaren or the AlphaTauri, but Josh keeps hold of P9. Unfitted noise with no penalties. I think that is worth a massive shout, as he has been passed by Klitsch on those very much faster tyres. Is Is he going to be able to take it to Interista in the final few laps here? We'll soon find out. But the gap between Domo and G-Man has decreased from around about 7 seconds to 5.4 now, which could mean that if Domo gets a move on, it could give us a nice end battle. If G-Man maybe gets a penalty of his own, as Adley gets past Yes Daddy for P4, and that is a move that was a long time coming, but the Red Bull's not going to give up. He's going to have the DRS, and you've got to be ready to defend, because every corner and straight you're going to attack, it's going to be the car behind's turn to do the exact same thing as he goes to the outside, and that could have been very, very close indeed. But they stay in P4 and 5 in that order, but not anymore, because the Red Bull is going to come around the outside. Are we going to see a late move? Oh, Adelaide trying to stick it in around the outside. They're both giving each other space, which is more than I can say for Josh and Meki Caven. Alex is now crossing the line to start lap number 31 of this race, and he has only got the 3 seconds of penalties, and there is a yellow flag. That is a racing point of Soap. He is off at turn number 3, and really surprised to see that we've only seen the one VSC today. Not seen one safety car, as Adley and Yes Daddy swapping positions left, right and centre. Now the Red Bull's going to get the DRS again. Oh guys, I think the best place for you to go for it is down the straight after turn 3, because that way there is no car that's got DRS after that. And whether Adley will listen to that little bit of advice, let's see if he tries and makes the move. Domo with 9 seconds of penalties as well. And Josh is now past Unfitted Noise into P8. Josh though with 12 seconds of penalties, you'd expect Unfitted Noise will jump him again, as Adley picks up a penalty and is off the track, and that is definitely not good, because he was up in P4 and now he's gone off the track again, and I think he's going to call it a day. He's frustrated. He's frustrated with himself, or he's frustrated with something. And I think we are going to be seeing the end of the racing point. Yep, and as he comes into the pits, that's a big shame, because we could have, we saw a lot of potential from him today, and I thought he could have been a decent pick for the win of the race. That is very unfortunate if he has had a collision, that's for sure. But nevertheless, let's see what happens here then. As Yes Daddy is now continuing on in P4. And that's a shame, because we were getting a nice little battle between them two, and more to the point, it was virtually our only battle on track, apart from the battle for P8 between Unfitted Noise and Meki Caven. And with just 3 laps of this race left to go, Alex 11 has made all, and he's not been lucky at all. I think he's raced his race how he wanted to race, committed to the one-stop strategy. He took advantage of some potential contact between Adley and Domo, and he was the car behind them both. He was in P3, and he was the one on the driving seat come the end of this race. So yeah, not quite sure what happened between Adley and Domo, if anything did happen, but they both got wing damage and both instantly ruined their races the moment they went into the pits, as lap number 34 begins, and Alex is just a country mile ahead of everyone else, and touch wood he doesn't get any more penalties or make any more errors, he will be getting the fully deserved P1 today. But we are seeing a battle in behind Mecky Caven and Millie. Mecky Caven just dropping back a little bit there. He was right on the back of Unfitted Noise. Not quite sure what happened. Millie still on his button. And Unfitted Noise. Oh, hello. Klitsch is passed into restart. Now, I did say that he had a very good chance of getting past both Ferraris here, and he has done just that. Unfortunately, he has got 12 seconds of penalties, which is going to leave into restart, jumping back up into P5 in the end. But, nevertheless, he is still doing a stellar job. This is, of course, his first race here in Tier 3. As Alex has not got many more laps to go, and he is just going to be bringing it home. As Domo is on the back of G-Man here, and Interista picking up another penalty for his troubles. But I think we should start having a look at potential driver of the day candidates. For me, if he does manage to get into the points, of which I think he will, the Haas driver of Patty, I think, is a very good one to give driver of the day to. I don't normally give it to a kind of back marker, if you will, but got ruined in quali. He had to start from the very back of the grid. He's now sat in P11, looking in very good contention to potentially jump the car ahead of him as Domo picks up his penalty. So my driver of the day, I think, is going to be the Haas driver of Patty. I think he has definitely excelled from the back of the grid, and a really good drive from him in the end. But whilst we're talking about the team of Haas, let's go on board with his teammate, because he has not got many more corners to go. And Alex11 has been the axe in everyone's side today, and he has really brought it out the hat. Deserved every part of this win, and he's stuck the one-stop strategy out well. He's kept it consistent. Only 3 seconds of penalties for the Haas driver. He's going to come around the final corner, and he is going to win the Austrian Grand Prix in big style. And he comes and makes everyone proud in the end, really. Coming from Tier 2 down to Tier 3. Comes across, and yeah, as I say, he'll make himself very proud of that win. And G-Man with a good P2 in the end. He will probably get bored of finishing second sooner or later, and will be looking for that win. Domo very impressively getting P3, Klitsch finishing P5, but jumped by Interista in the end. Josh finishes P7. I expect Unfitted Noise to jump a few positions as well. Millie picks up another penalty for his troubles. Unfitted Noise finishes P7, and Patty jumps up to P9. So he is definitely going to be my driver of the day. I don't know about the game, but he has deserved it, I think. Yeah, I mean, I guess just call me Einstein of F1. But there you go. Here's your driver of the day, and his teammate is your winner. Alex takes the Austrian Grand Prix, and man gets on the podium again, and CSR Domo will be very happy to see the podium again. But today is all about the team of Haas, Alex11, and is this a slight of things to come? Haas driver, see if we can come in for a very quick word before we close out the stream. And let's get him into the party. But there is a full rundown of your results. P1 is Alex11, P2 G-Man, P3 CSR Domo, P4 is Yes Daddy, P5 Interista, P6 VSL Kitch, who absolutely done a stellar job from P13 on the grid. Unfitted Noise with 0 penalties, as well as G-Man in P7. And Josh in P8, Patty, your driver of the day, starting from P18 on the grid to start P9. To finish P9, sorry. Monster actually getting a very good point in the end after spinning after turn 1. In terms of your non-points finishers, Meki Caven, Millies, Soap McPhoenix, Garita. Very unfortunate for Adler because he was definitely on for a potential podium. But nevertheless, here is our winner, Alex11. I hope he's got his audio included. And I hope he's ready for a celebration interview, because that was a dominant. P1, you started qualified P1 and you finished P1. It probably wasn't your ideal start to the race, but you know, you did what you had to do and you showed very consistent.
Well, yeah, I'm happy with the win. I qualified P1, which I was happy with, but I think there's a little incident with Domo and Adley at some point in the race, and that caused them two to get damaged, and I was very lucky for me because that just put me back in P1. So yeah, I feel if that didn't happen, I wouldn't have got the wins, but I'm obviously happy, and I feel sorry for them too.
Yeah, what actually happened between them two? Because I didn't personally catch it on stream, but I saw them both coming in one after another, getting a wing change, so I'd assume that they made contact, but was it severe?
Well, I was in the party with Adley, and someone was in P1 ahead of Domo who hadn't pitted yet, and I think he was going into the pits. But you know how like the line shows the pits like on a corner to the fast way around the outside.
Yeah.
I think he went on the inside, and then it basically brake checked and was called domino effect on the other two guys. So that's what them two damage. So.
Oh Jesus, it's a shame because Adley was driving really, really well and potentially up for the win. I
think he would have won, to be fair to him.
Well, he would have won on penalties. He got less than Domo. That was the person he was back with. So, but yeah, it was unfortunate for him. But nevertheless, good job from yourself. Enjoy the win.
Thanks, mate.
No worries. And that is it, ladies and gentlemen. That is T3 over and done with for another week, and that is the Austrian GP finished with. Stay tuned. Tomorrow we have got Nation fixtures coming your way. Monday we have got CSR Division 1 coming your way, and plenty more action on the track. I'd like to thank, of course, my companion, Big CSR Pez, for all the inside information. You can't hear him, but yeah, he helped me with a few things. So thank you, Pez, and we will see you very, very soon for Austria Monday night. Yeah, bye-bye. Boo.
Michael Schumacher going to make a good start and cut across the front of Mika Häkkinen, and he's famous for that. 3 lights, 4 lights, 5 laps. Pause. Go, go, go. Number 1, Winkelhock, second in the BMW. Third is Alan Menu in the Renault. Behind him is Steve Soper out of Dufferston. Peter McIntyre's the right-hander. This is really close. Through the chicane. And it's Tarquini. What happened? Gabriele Tarquini in the Alfa Romeo. Thank heavens he's safe out of the car, rushing to safety. And the crowd have shown their appreciation that he's all right. But it's a very dazed and battered Gabriele leaning against the barrier. Heat damn wins. Looks through a completely clean windscreen, and that's the big advantage, of course, of being in front. And that's the big disadvantage of getting your line wrong. Into the pit lane.
Congratulated Cesarus, the man who's won more Grand Prix than anybody else in the history of Grand Prix racing without actually winning one of them.
They're on the left, Mazda on the right, Vauxhall in the middle. They're absolutely together, side by side. They're very close. In fact, they